Hello. Mohan, can you repeat it again? I can't hear that one.
Yeah. Today our topic for our discussion would be like types of views. Earlier we have discussed the type of tables, right? Today we are going to discuss about the types of views. Okay. So if you we are going to discuss about the views. Views is nothing but once the query is fetched, it acts similarly like a table, but it's not a table. Okay. We can it's like having the your own view on the table. Everyone have their own view, right? Similar to that the base table is different. Upon the base tables, we can create our own view as per our requirement. Okay. In Snowflake, the categorization was happened very simply. Actually, if you notice Oracle or say MySQL, it's going to be a lot of there are different types of views, but Snowflake has categorized the views into only two types. Okay, one is non-materialized views, and another type of view is going to be a materialized view. We have only two types of views in Snowflake. One is a non-materialized view, and another is going to be a some the views which are not going to be materialized are known as a not materialized. Simply just remember that what is the difference between the materialized and non-materialized is materialized views materialized views require the physical space. They occupies the data occupies the physical space. It's going to have the physical space and it occupies the physical space in our storage. We need to pay for the storage as well for the materialized views. Whereas for the non-materialized views, it doesn't occupy any physical space. Once we once we query the once we query the data from the view, automatically it will be fetched from the base table. But whereas in the materialized view, it doesn't go to the base table. The data will be present as per the view that we created in the physical storage. The data will be fetched from the physical storage itself. Already it's a pre-computed, the data is available. So the performance is high in terms of materialized view, whereas the performance is low in terms of non-materialized view. Let us see practically the different types of views that are present in the non-materialized view. Okay, if we are going to create a view based on a single table, it is known as a simple view. Okay, the view created based on single table. The view created based on single table is known as a simple view. And the view created based on multiple tables known as a complex view. Okay, let us understand what is a simple view and what is a complex view. Okay, let us see practically what is a view and non-materialized views. Let us discuss about the materialized views and non-materialized views. Okay, again there is another term known as a secure views. Okay, so we can create both the non-materialized secure views and materialized secure views. So in total, we are going to get four types of views known as a secure non-materialized view, non-secure non-materialized view, and secure materialized view, non-secure materialized view. These are the four types of views which you need to be familiar and need to understand. Views is a simple concept. It's very moreover very similar to a table, but actually we are going to create a view as per our requirement, as per based on the different requirements from the different departments. Okay, let us see practically how we are going to create the view. Okay, for this now I am going to create the one database known as a learning about the views. I have successfully created the database. Now I want to create one schema about the views explanation. The name views explanation. Now I am going to create one table known as a ABCD, and actually I am going to copy the data from this table. Actually, this is the table which is present in the Snowflake sample data and around and this schema. Under this table, I have the table name as a call center. Just I'm trying to copy all the data from this table into the table name with ABC. Okay. Now similarly, I'm going to create the another table ABCD1. Now if you query the data which was present in this table call center, we have the 60 rows right here. Now all the data will be get copied into this particular table ABC. We have the 60 rows here. Similarly, we have another table. We have the 60 rows. Okay. So now we have what till now what we have done, just we have created a two tables and just we have copied a all that we have copied the data from the another table into our tables which we got created. Okay. Now to create, now we are trying to create the view. If you see here, the syntax is very similar: create or replace. In place of table, just we will provide the view name. In place of table, just we are going to give the keyword view, create or replace view, and then we are going to give the view name, the name of the, similarly as we are going to give table, right? Similarly here we are going to give the view name, and just after that we need to provide the as a keyword, and then we can write the select query, select command. What are the select query? The select query contains the multiple tables or single table. If the select query contains a single table, then it is known as a simple view. Simple view always contains only one base table, whereas complex view contains multiple tables. Okay, here we are going to create the simple view from the table ABCD, and this ABCD has multiple columns. If you can see here, this ABCD has different columns like call center data, start time, end time. But now I am going to create the view which contains only one column known as a CC record CC start date. Okay, there is a requirement in our organization to create a view as per one department where they want to see only record start date. Okay, instead of providing entire data for them, we are going to showcase only data which is present in this particular column. Okay, let me execute this. The syntax is very similar to the table as create or replace table. In place of table, we are going to use the command view, and then we are going to give the view name. After that, we are going to provide as a keyword, and then we are going to write the select statement. Now let me execute this view creation statement. View from ABCD. View was created from this table ABCD, and now let us query this step. Let us query this view. Okay. So we have only one column here. View is nothing but creating the view, creating the data as per the requirement. Based on that, we have created the multiple views based on one single table. Instead of providing access for the entire underlying data, this gives us a lot of security that we are going to showcase only certain data, subset of data which is present in the table to the user. Okay, let us create another view which is a complex view where the data is fetched from multiple tables. Here I am using the two tables after the from clause. If you are going to notice, here we are using the multiple tables ABCD and ABCD. Okay, same, the syntax is very similar even for creating the complex view as well. Create or replace view, and then we are going to provide the view name. Then after we are going to give the as keyword. Then we are going to write the select query. This is the simple syntax. And just I'm executing this query. After executed this query successfully, my view got created. If you are going to query this view, now we get the data as per our requirement. We have provided the two columns. One column is selected from ABCD table, and the ABCD1 table selected the CC underscore. You can use the joins and all using this. So complex view is nothing but when you have a more than one base table, it's known as a complex view. If you are going to have a single base table, then it is going to be a simple view and complex view. This is the difference between the simple view and complex view. And here we have created the non-materialized, non-secure views. We are not here. We have not used any of the secure keyword. Hence, it is going to be a non-secure, and we haven't used any kind of materialized word. So this is going to be a non-secure, non-materialized simple view. This is going to be a, let me write it. This is a non-secure, non-materialized simple view. And this is going to be a complex view. Hope you are able to understand what is the difference between the simple and complex view. Simple view always uses the single table after the from class, whereas the complex view uses more than one table after from class. Okay, that is the difference between the simple view and complex view. It is not a materialized view. If you want to make any view as materialized view, then we need to use the keyword as a materialized. I will show you how we are going to create the materialized view. It is not a secure view as well. If you want to create the secure view, then we need to use the keyword secure before the before the view keyword, then it is going to be a secure view. Okay, we will see how we are going to create the secure views and materialized views. Okay, hope everyone is able to understand what is the difference between this simple view and complex view. Simple view contains one base table, whereas the complex view contains more than one base table after the from class. Okay, any doubts so far here differentiating between the simple view and complex view? Okay,
No, Mohan, good to go.
sorry.
No, Mohan, we are good to go.
Okay, okay, fine, thank you. Yeah. Now let us understand actually the advantages of views. What is the advantages that views provides? Okay. So the one major advantage is views will give us the opportunity to write a modular code. Modular coding means in the sense that try to understand what you mean by a module. Okay. If you are going to consider entire these 6 blocks, these 9 blocks as a system, just I am trying to explain what do you mean by a modular development and modular design. Okay, let us consider our entire system contains these 6 modules, these 9 modules. Okay, so modular development comes into picture when instead of developing entire 9 modules at a single go, instead of that we will divide entire system into modules. Here, the entire system got developed into 9 modules. Okay, so each module will be developed by individual teams, and finally it will get integrated. This is nothing but a modular development. So with having said this, we have the opportunity while creating the views. This gives an opportunity to create the modular design, writing the code in a modular way. Let us see how we can write that. Okay. Further, I'm going to create one table with the 2 columns. I'm going to create the table with the employees, and these table have a 2 columns. One is with the ID, and another column is going to be a title. Okay, so I'm going to create one table with the id column and title column, and I am going to insert the values. I have inserted 3 rows, one with a id with one doctor, 2 nurse, and this contains the different types of employees present in an organization. Okay, let us see with this data present in the table how can we create a modular code. Okay, so we want to have a view for the doctors. Doctors must not see the data about the nurses and doctors. Okay, so that we are going to create a view known as a create view doctors. Doctors as a one view where they are going to see the data present in the entire hospital with the, here we are going to apply the filter with the name title. Title we are going to filter with the doctors. If you are going to execute this, here we are going to create a view name as a doctors, and they can see only the doctors present in the hospital as we are going to applying the filter with the title. Okay, similarly we are going to create the nurses as a view, and there is another view which we are going to create as a medical staff. Here in this medical staff we are going to fetch the data from the doctors and the nurses, and we are going to perform the union will take all the, it will remove all the duplicates, and it will provide us the number of total number of doctors and nurses present in the particular table. Okay, let us execute this. Here we have successfully created three views. One view with the name doctors, one view with the name nurses, and another view with the name medical staff. If you are going to query from this, here you are going to get only doctor data. Similarly, if you are going to query from the nurse, here we are going to get only the data from the nurses. If you are going to query from the medical staff, here you are going to get the union of doctors and nurses. Okay. Similarly, you can one view that I have missed was janitor. Okay. Now, if I want to create the another view, we can create it. So we have one base table, but we are going to create a multiple views as per the requirement. Okay. So let us create another view from the janitors. Here I am using the public. So here you are going to get the data only from the chart. Yeah. Give it out.
Hi bro, good morning.
Raju, actually, are you not able to? I'm hearing some echo. Yes, Raju. Yeah. So here we have successfully created the janitor as a one view, and we have fetched the data with the janitors. Okay. Now this gives an opportunity to create a modular design. So the view we are going to create the entire different views as per the requirement for the different section of employees. Okay, that is one advantage. And the second advantage is, let us consider we have a one table which contains the medical records and as well as the patient records. In one table we have the medical records and as well as the patient records. So there is a requirement that we have there is going to be a requirement that medical practitioners need to have access for that, but they don't need to have a access for the patient, I mean to say billing information like financial information, whereas the billing guys require the billing related information, and they are not going to have a access for the medical records. So that for them we are going to create the separate views for the medical staff and as well as the billing staff. Then we can provide access. They are going to create the roles and we can provide access for them only to fetch the billing related data. And another set of people can fetch the data which is related only for the medical. This is how we are going to achieve the access to the subset of table. Based on this table, we are going to give access to the only subset of data. Where instead of providing entire data access to the entire data, we are going to provide only to the subset of data present in the table. That is going to be another advantage using the tables, sorry, views. Okay, so yeah, able to hear me, right? Hello.
Yes, Mohan.
Yeah, here we have the two major advantage. One, we are going to create the modular code, and another we are going to have the access. We can provide the access to the subset of table, but instead of providing access to the entire table. Okay, this is going to be two major advantages of the views. Okay, so we have seen creation of non-materialized and non-secure views. Let us try to create the secure views. Okay, secure views, creation of secure views is also going to be very easy and similar to creation of the normal views. Further, just we are going to use the word secure. If you are going to use the word secure, the automatic, the additional keyword that we are going to use here is secure to create a secure. Okay, let us create the
View. Hello.
yeah, yes please.
Like view is a keyword, right? It is,
Raju, actually I'm not able to hear you clearly, Raju.
view is a keyword, right?
Yes,
I'm audible.
yeah,
Yeah, a view is a keyword, right?
yeah. Yes, Raju, view is a keyword.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let us create another. Let us create a secure views. So that to create a secure view, just we are going to provide as a secure in before the view. We have the view keyword, right? Before that, we are going to place the secure as a keyword, and then we are going to create the secure views. Let us execute this. Now we have created the secure view. What is the advantages of secure views and non-secure views? We will look into that. Before that, let me create the another view which is a non-secure. Okay. Now I have created the secure view and non-secure view. If you can see here, I have used the same query, that same underlying data that need to be used for the secure views and non-secure views. If I am going to fetch the data, let me execute from the non-secure view. Okay, it has taken 278 milliseconds. If you can notice here, the query duration is 342 milliseconds for the secure view. So secure view does not utilize any of the internal optimization techniques. Only non-secure views utilizes the internal optimization techniques which are provided by the Snowflake. Whereas secure views will not be utilized. Okay. So let me execute the non-secure view again. It has non-secure view. Now the data is getting fetched from the cache. Okay. So the duration is going to be at 217 milliseconds. Let us see for the secure view. Okay, it has taken 54 milliseconds. It's let us see from the query processing end how it has handling it. So for each query that we execute, there is going to be a query profile, right? So let us go to the non-secure view. If you see here, non-secure views, it will show you the tables can happen, two tables, and tables can happen, three tables. Okay. Similarly, if you are going to look at the data for the secure view, if you see the query profile for the secure view, it is not going to show any details. It is not going to show us any kind of details. Okay. So that the non-secure view can internally expose certain type of data. What is the number of table scan, and initially they can guess the number of table scan, what is the data that is going to perform internally. Whereas the secure view, it is not going to provide us any kind of information about how the data is getting processed and all. Okay. So that one advantage that we get from the secure views is that it is not the data which is processed. The data, if you see, internal optimization can internally indirectly expose data. If you can see the number of people scanned and all, it can be showed from the non-secure views. Whereas the secure views, no data will be shown. That is the one advantage that we are going to get using the secure views. And another advantage is that we cannot share the non-secure views. Okay, if you need, can share only the views which are secure. For that, we have two views here, right? Non-secure view and the secure. This is a secure view and this is a non-secure view. Okay, let us see which view we can share for the other people. We have the, if we go here and we have the private sharing. Just click on private sharing. Just try to click on the share button. Create a direct share. We want to create a direct share and we want to share the view to the other people. Okay. If you select this is the database and this is the schema. Here if you notice we have one view which can be shared. only because this is the only view which is secure that we have created. Only this view can be shared for others, whereas the different other views cannot be shared to a different people. Okay, only using the secure keyword only the views which have a secure keyword and the secure views can be shared to a different people. The different views which don't have a, even the non-materialized views which are not secure cannot be shared to a different people. Okay, this is going to be another advantage having the data. This is going to keep us the data secure, and they don't have access to the internal optimization techniques which Snowflake is using. Okay, this is one of the advantage using the secure use. But you need to be very careful while creating the secure views, because secure views do not use any of the internal optimization techniques. Hence it will use a lot of compute. It will cost you the redemption of lost of credits will be consumed if you are going to use the secure views. Okay, whereas if you are going to use a non-secure, if it will use the internal optimization techniques, and it will have the less cost reduction. Okay, you need to be very cautious, keeping the views either secure or not secure. Only if there is a requirement to go for the secure views, then only we need to go for the secure views. Okay, that is the one advantage. And another advantage, if you are going to, we have the role based access control RBAC. It is going to be one of the differentiation. When we execute this rollback access control, we will see this. Other peoples who don't have access for this particular view, they are not going to able to access the get ddl command. Let me show you that. We have this get DDL, right? This non-secure view, the DB definition cannot be visible to the others who don't have access. Now I am the account admin, I have the access, so I can get the get DDL. I can happily execute this and we'll get the DDL that has utilized for this view creation. Whereas the other people who don't have access cannot retrieve this get DDL. While discussing about the RBAC role-based access control, we will discuss this concept. Okay, who have access can only able to see this get DDL command. Okay, this is one of the advantage of having the view secure. Okay, so sharing a view can be shared, only the secure views can be shared with the other people, whereas the different types of views other than secure cannot be shared to a different people. There is another keyword which is known as a force. So if you have experience working in the different databases, so it gives us opportunity to create the view even the underlying table does not exist in the different types of databases, whereas in Snowflake it does not work like that. Let me execute this. So here I am trying to create the force view, but without having underlying table does not exist. It says that the test does not exist. If you see here, test table with the name test does not exist in my database, but I am trying to create a view on this particular table, assuming that the test will be created in future. It can be created in different databases, but not in Snowflake. So okay, let me create this table. If once I create the table, the force, if I execute the using the force, the same command which I executed earlier, now successfully created. So the force keyword is present in Snowflake, but even though the keyword force is present in Snowflake, it does not give us an opportunity to create the view if the base table does not exist. That is the meaning that and the takeaway we need to understand from here. Okay. So initially I tried to create a view. I tried to create a force view having my base table not present. Snowflake had thrown an error. So I have created a table and then I executed the force view. Then automatically the view got created when the base table is present. So in Snowflake, if the base table is present, then only we can create a view. Even it could be a force view, simple view, complex view, or materialized view. Any type of view can be created only if the base table exists in Snowflake. Okay. Hope everyone is able to understand this. Without having the base table, we cannot create any kind of view in Snowflake. But it is possible in different databases using the keyword force. Okay. So we need to understand one more important thing here. What happens if the underlying table get changed? Okay. For that, let us create one table. Here I am going to create one table name as a test alter. Successfully, I have created one table with the name test order, and I am trying to insert the data into this particular table. Okay, let me query this table. The data is present in this particular table. Let me create a view. This is the view. This is the view that I am going to create on this particular table. Okay. We have successfully created the view. And let us query from the data. So from the view, we are able to successfully query the data. Now let us change the table structure. Let us execute this alter command. So what we have done is we have created one table and we have inserted certain records into that particular table. And we have queried the table. The data is present. On this particular table, we have created one view. And we are able to fetch the data from the view. Now what I am trying to do is I am trying to do and I have altered the definition of the table. Okay, just I have added another column with the name as another column. So let us see whether the view exists or not. If you can see here, earlier we have declared only one column in that particular view, but when we change the structure of the table, I mean to say when you add a new column or drop a new column, the existing view which was created on the base table will become invalid. Okay. From this, the takeaway is whenever we alter any table, either it's going to be adding new column or dropping a new column, then the views are not going to be a dynamic. Views are going to be a static. Automatically, the new column which you got inserted will not be applicable to the view. Okay, the view will be invalid. So if you want to utilize the same view again, then you need to drop the existing view which is present on that particular table. Okay, let us drop this particular view which is present on the base table. I dropped successfully. Then we need to create the same view name. We can create the same view name on this particular table. So this is how the behavior is going to be. When you add any particular column onto the base table, automatically the views which are built on that particular table will become invalid. To make it invalid, we are going to drop the existing views present on the base table, and then we are going to create the new tables. That is how the behavior when you add a new column or drop a new column into a particular base table. Okay. Hope everyone is able to understand the behavior, what happens when you add a new column to the base table. Okay. Any doubts here? What happens when we alter to the base table? Yeah. So there is another set of views known as a materialized views and secure materialized views. Materialized views is going to be similar to a normal view, but instead of that, it occupies the physical space in the storage layer. It occupies the physical space in the storage layer. So we are going to incur the storage cost. Actually, the data is pre-computed and it is going to be stored in the materialized view will be refreshed automatically whenever you perform certain changes in the base table. Automatically, the changes will be applied to the view. Okay, view data in the sense that. Okay, let us create one materialized view. For this creation of materialized view, we are going to use the keyword as known as a materialized. So create or replace, we are using the word materialized, and then we are going to create the non-secure materialized view. Like this, we can create the materialized view. Similarly, we can create the secure materialized view as well. For this, we are going to provide the secure as a keyword before the materialized. Okay. So this is how we are going to create the materialized view. The only thing that you need to remember while dealing with a materialized view is materialized views cannot have we cannot create a complex materialized view. It is we cannot combine the two tables in order to create the material. We cannot have a two tables data present in the materialized view. Materialized view always contains only single table. Okay, this is how we cannot create use two materialized views, and we cannot create the materialized view based on the two tables. Okay, this is how we are going to create the materialized view, materialized secured view, simple view, complex view, and these are all the four types: secure non-materialized view, non-secure non-materialized view, secure materialized view, and non-secure materialized view. These are the four types of views that we can be created in a Snowflake. Okay, let us discuss another important topic. Actually, can we create view on a temp table? Yesterday we have I mean to say in the previous class we have discussed on the different types of tables, right? Temporary tables, permanent tables, and transient tables. Here, the interview point of view, the question is going to be, can we create a views based on the transient tables and temp tables? Okay, let us see whether we can create the views on a temp and transient tables. Okay, further, let us create one table, temp table. Next, I am creating a temp table here, and we are going to insert data into this temp table. So we have created one temp table and inserted data into this temp table. Now I have retrieved the data present in the temp table. Now my question is, can we create a view on this temp table or not? Let us see whether we can create a temp table view on a temp table. So let us query this. So by this you can understand that we are able to create the temporary view on a temporary view on we are going to create the view on a temp table and the data can be fetched. Okay, this is if you are going to exit this session, this temp view is going to be invalid. Temporary views can be created on a temp table, but it is going to be invalid once you log in back into the session, log out and log in back into that session. Okay, let us move to the another table, transient table. Let us see whether we can create the view on a transient table. For that, I am going to create one table, transient table. Let us insert the data into this transient table. So we have created one transient table. We have inserted the data into this transient table. We have queried successfully. Now let us try to create the view on this transient table. Let us see whether we are able to create the view on this transient table or not. So we can create the transient view. We can create the view on the transient tables as well. Okay, the understanding is we can create the views both on the temp tables, transient tables, and permanent tables. And the views that are created on the temp tables will get dropped once the session got completed and we will log out from the session. Okay, similarly, we can create the views on the transient tables, but it is going to be the views is going to be valid until exclusively dropped. Similarly, it's going to be a permanent tables. The cloning is, you mean to say here the time travel and failsafe time travel applicable for the transient as well as the permanent tables, but transient views will not have a failsafe. That is the overall understanding, the differentiation between the transient views and the I mean to say permanent views and the temp views. Okay, these are the different types of views that we can be created in Snowflake. We need to be familiar with these four kind of views. What do you mean by secure view? What do you mean by materialized view? Materialized view simply it occupies the physical storage, whereas the non-materialized views it does not occupy any kind of physical storage. We can create the both secure materialized views and the secure non-materialized views. So by that we are going to have the total four types of views known as a secure non-materialized, secure materialized view, and non-secure materialized and non-secure non-materialized views. These are going to be four different types of views. Okay. And we have the two different types of views based on the base tables. Here we are going to have the simple view and complex view. If you have a one simple view, if you have a single base table in your view, then it is going to be a simple view. If you have more than one base table, then it is going to be a complex view. Okay. Another important thing is, in case of materialized views, we cannot have a complex views. Only simple views is possible for creating the materialized views. Okay. Yeah. These are the different types of views present in the Snowflake. Any doubts, guys? So far about the different